What if I told you that hip-hop's biggest power players, Jay-Z and Charlamagne the God, have been quietly pulling the strings behind one of the most shocking downfalls in daytime TV history? And now, Nicki Minaj says she's next. That's right, the queen of rap just dropped a bombshell, claiming there's a hidden agenda to silence her the same way. They allegedly destroyed Wendy Williams, secret meetings, fake stories, leaked files, even police covered dash-ups. Is this a desperate reach, or the exposure of the decade? Because if Nicki's right, we're not just talking about gossip. We're talking about industry control, media manipulation, and a billion-dollar empire built on silencing the loudest voices. Grab your popcorn. This gets dark fast. Let's rewind for a second, because this story didn't just start with Nicki Minaj's Instagram Live meltdown. No, this goes way back to when Wendy Williams was the queen of daytime talk, and Jay-Z's Roc Nation was quietly expanding his empire behind the scenes. See, Wendy wasn't just another celebrity with a mic, she was a threat. The woman built her career exposing rappers, record execs, and power players who thought they were untouchable. And guess what? Jay-Z hated that. Industry insiders, and by insiders, I mean a few people who claimed they've been at Roc Nation meetings, say Wendy was getting too close to things that were never meant to be public. Allegedly, she was planning to tell all about Roc Nation's secret business dealings, the shady artist contracts, and the whispers of hush money flowing through the entertainment industry. And then, Wendy disappeared from her own show. Fast forward a few years, and suddenly, Nicki Minaj starts noticing the same pattern. The false headlines, the unverified sources, the narrative that she's unhinged, unwell, and unstable. Sound familiar? That's the same playbook they use on Wendy. Nicki claims Roc Nation is deliberately smearing her reputation, leaking stories that she's on drugs, emotionally unstable, and even financially reckless, all to build a public perception that she can't manage her own career or money. Why? Because once the world believes that the next step is easy, put her in a conservatorship. Yeah, just like Britney, just like Wendy. Now here's where it gets really twisted. According to alleged text messages obtained by anonymous sources close to Nicki's circle, Charlamagne the God, the radio king known for stirring the pot, was allegedly helping push the narrative behind the scenes. Nicki says Charlamagne's radio network had been incentivized to highlight every negative story about her while quietly protecting Roc Nation artists. It's all part of what fans are now calling the Roc Nation playbook, a set of tactics to isolate, discredit, and ultimately control artists who don't play by their rules. Think about it. Wendy Williams gets exposed, silenced, and stripped of her empire. Britney Spears fights to regain control of her life. And now, Nicki Minaj, one of the most outspoken women in hip-hop, says she's next in line. She even accused Jay-Z of having direct connections with the LAPD to cover up SWAT call incidents that were allegedly staged to make her look paranoid. Coincidence? Or a calculated takedown? Because if Nicki's claims are true, this isn't just celebrity drama. It's a battle between independent power and the machine that built the music industry. And the craziest part? Nicki says her husband, Kenneth Petty, is the only thing standing in their way. But that might be exactly why they're coming for him next. Because right after Nicki called them out, the attacks got louder. Suddenly, anonymous sources began leaking stories claiming Kenneth Petty was misusing Nicki's money. Private jets, luxury cars, mysterious charges on her cards. But according to an alleged leaked financial report from one of Nicki's accountants, which mysteriously vanished from the internet hours after surfacing, those transactions were tied to business expenses authorized by Nicki herself. So, who planted the story? Nicki says it's Roc Nation's Reputation Division, a group of PR fixers who specialize in weaponizing gossip. And if you think that sounds insane, wait till you hear this. A supposed ex-employee of Roc Nation came forward under the pseudonym Mia, claiming there's an entire internal file on Nicki Minaj's label Project Pink Silence. According to Mia, the file includes strategy points to discredit Nicki in 3 phrases: mental instability, marital strain, and financial incompetence. That's right, allegedly. They've been building a character assassination plan step by step. Phase 1. Push the Nicki's losing it narrative through gossip blogs and talk shows. Charlamagne's platform, The Breakfast Club, becomes ground zero for that. Small digs, shady comments, subtle narratives, the kind that make people say, something's wrong with Nicki. Phase 2. Attack the marriage. Highlight Kenneth's criminal past. Question their relationship. Leaked stories about fights, financial tension, and concerns from insiders. Phase 3 position her as unfit to manage her own empire, then suggest professional oversight. Sound familiar? It's the Britney blueprint all over again. But here's where it gets wild. Fans started connecting dots. The Barb's Nicki's fandom turned full detective mode. They dug through old clips, radio segments, and media headlines, noticing how the same talking points appeared on different outlets days apart. Different networks, same wording, almost as if they came from one script. Twitter or X exploded. Hashtag Protect Nicki trended worldwide for 2 straight days. And guess who suddenly went radio silent? Charlamagne. People began resurfacing old clips of him praising Jay-Z, calling him the ultimate strategist. Some fans believe Charlamagne isn't just a pawn. They think he's the mouthpiece, the one who helps steer public perception while the power players stay comfortably in the background. Meanwhile, Wendy Williams' name keeps reappearing. Multiple insiders claim that after Wendy's mental health decline, the people who gained access to her finances had direct connections to, you guessed it, Roc Nation affiliates. The pattern feels too neat, too rehearsed. And Nicki knows it. In one of her latest live streams, she said, "They did it to Wendy, they did it to Britney, and they'll do it to me unless people wake up, whether you believe her or not." Something definitely shifted that night. Her fans became an army, demanding answers. But the question now is, what happens when you challenge billion-dollar power structures? Because that's exactly what Nicki just did. And the storm was only getting started. And right after Nicki's livestream went viral, chaos hit the industry. Journalists started poking around. Independent bloggers began digging for connections, and suddenly, people who once called Nicki crazy were quietly deleting tweets. Something about her story was sticking. Rumors started swirling that federal agencies were taking an interest. According to an alleged confidential tip shared by a so-called entertainment law insider, certain financial transfers linked to Roc Nation's charitable wing didn't match their public records. Coincidence? Maybe, but that didn't stop conspiracy channels from going wild, claiming these donations were used to buy silence, fund hit pieces, and manipulate online narratives against outspoken artists. And it gets deeper. Anonymous Reddit threads popped up claiming there's a media blacklist maintained by a private PR network tied to Roc Nation, where certain artists are marked as difficult or unstable. The same language used against Wendy Williams, Britney Spears, and now Nicki Minaj. According to one alleged former PR assistant, if they can't control you, they'll control the story about you. Meanwhile, Nicki's team started fighting back aggressively. Leaked emails show her legal reps contacting multiple news outlets, demanding retractions for false claims about her mental health. One tabloid quietly edited a headline from Nicki Minaj meltdown to Nicki Minaj addresses rumors, without ever admitting they changed it. Then came the biggest twist. An unverified voice recording, allegedly between the Roc Nation executives, surfaced online. In it, 2 men discuss getting ahead of the Nicki situation before it becomes another Britney case. Within hours, the clip was removed from every major platform, flagged for copyright. But the internet never forgets. Fans re-uploaded it hundreds of times, spreading it faster than any takedown could stop. Now the narrative had flipped. Instead of Nicki being unstable, the public started asking if she'd been targeted. News anchors awkwardly danced around the topic, pretending not to know, while podcasts dissected every second of her statements like it was a crime scene. And then, silence from Jay-Z. Total silence. No statement, no denial, no acknowledgement. Just business as usual. For someone whose name was plastered across every headline, his calmness almost felt strategic. Some claim that's his move. Never engage directly. Just let your allies handle the cleanup. Others think the story is too dangerous to touch, that even speaking on it gives it power. But here's what's undeniable. The conversation has changed. Fans are questioning everything, from who controls the media to who decides which artists get protected and which get buried. Wendy Williams is still out of the spotlight. Britney's still fighting to reclaim her peace. And now Nicki Minaj stands at the crossroads, the one woman daring to say what others only whisper. Whether she's exposing a real conspiracy or just fighting ghosts. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning. So what do you think? Is Nicki Minaj really uncovering one of the biggest industry conspiracies of our time? Or has the power of celebrity paranoia gone too far? Because if what she's saying is even half true, then this isn't just about one artist. It's about how far the machine will go to control the narrative and destroy anyone who refuses to play along. Jay-Z's silence, Charlamagne's vanishing act, Wendy's mysterious downfall. None of it feels random anymore. So I'll ask you this: who's really running the culture, and who's being sacrificed to protect it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is only getting darker. And if you want more raw truth, the kind the mainstream won't touch, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next revelation might blow everything wide open.